Guys, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel, whichever it is for you today, and I am checking out for the first time. I love checking out artists or group for the first time, guys, as you know, or as you're finding out. BAND-MAID, a Japanese metal band, is that right? I've seen their names circle around for years, to be totally honest. I've never checked them out, never got to it, because again, I didn't really know what they were. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel, whichever is you today, and welcome back. It's not that kind of video today, not that kind of video. So guys, this will just be me chatting about a particular gig that I went to last Thursday on the 11th of June, was it? Yes, 11th of June in London, and that would be BAND-MAID and all that business. So this is just going to be like, you know, a general chat and talk about everything that happened with my first time seeing these ladies live, talking about the experience before the show, talking about the experience with the show, talking about, well, yeah, just that really. No, I just went home. I just went to the hotel after that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I will go into it all. You will see, by the way, that there's going to be a bit of footage in this video as we go along. You saw a bit of it a second ago with it being credited as well. I do not take any videos. I may take a photograph when I go to a show or a gig. I didn't on this occasion. The only photographs I probably would take at gigs and everything like that are just maybe of the stage. One really, maybe one with the stage with the artist not there, and one with them there. I didn't end up doing that this time, or taking photographs with the people that I'm watching with, and all that business as well. So yeah, I want to say that there will be full credits in the links in the description or in the pinned comment for all the footage and all the places where that footage has been from, all the YouTubers that have done it and everything like that. So big love to them. As well, I will say something on the account of filming gigs, because there's, for me, as someone who's gone to a good few gigs and shows and everything over the last few years, there's an etiquette that comes with it, and I'm happy to say there's an etiquette that we succeeded with it on this occasion. But first off, I have to say, folks, big love to my mate Daniel, who sorted me out with this gig. Helped me get the tickets and everything. VIP too, by the way. Helped me get the tickets and everything. And yeah, the tickets, as people will know, were not easy to get, so Daniel really helped me get them in that way, so massive love to him. It is not the first time he's done it. He is an amazing man, an amazingly kind man, so big love to him. He saw BAND-MAID in Frankfurt as well on this tour, so he went before me, and well, on my Discord he tried to warn all of us of what was coming, and any warning would not have been working for what happened, I would say, you know. So yeah, let's talk about everything first. I went to the show. I got to my hotel at like 3 p.m. No, I didn't. I wanted to get to my hotel at 3 p.m. because I couldn't check in any later than 3 p.m. There was traffic on the way, because obviously I came down from Wales. There was traffic on the way to London, and it got longer and longer, and I arrived in London later than I would have liked, because I knew it was going to take about an hour to get from my hotel into the city itself and into Brixton. And I was a bit nervous, actually. Not that I'd missed the show, but I'd want to get, even for VIP, a pretty good, you know, spot and everything too. So it ended up being okay and everything. The rain stopped while we were all outside. I walked to the venue. I saw the Electric Brixton. Never been there, by the way. I've only ever been to the O2 Academy, Brixton a few times as well. The Warning being one of them. And I've not been to the Electric Brixton or heard of it, to be honest with you. So it was pretty cool to go to a new venue and walk to the venue. And basically the venue, on the corner of it, there's traffic lights walking towards it. And then as soon as I got off the tubes, pretty much walking towards it, I see the queues and everything, right? Queues go on both sides of this corner of the building. And it was great to see so many people and everything like that. And I was like, okay, so this must be the general admissions queue. And there was this gap in the middle of it on this corner. And I was like, okay, this must be the general admissions queue. Cool. So I looked at it, and I think I worked out. I was like, oh, okay, sweet. So where's the entrance? See the entrance, and there's another queue on the other side of the entrance. And I'm like, oh, right, okay, so this is VIP. And I kept on walking, and I was like, well, VIP is normally not as many people as the general admissions, right? And I kept walking, and I kept walking to find the back of the queue, and I kept walking again. I honestly think, and we were talking about it in the queue as well, I could be wrong. It was close if it was the case, but I do think that possibly the queue for VIP was longer than the queue for general admissions. Possibly it was. It was massive, and everybody that came to the back of the queue assumed that it was general admissions, and they asked us, and it was like, no, this is actually VIP, and they were like, bloody hell, you know. We got to the back of the queue. Everybody, you could tell, was in good spirits and everything. And then I want to give a massive shout out to a man who came to the back of the queue, who I just had a conversation with and everything like that, you know, lovely guy. And he was talking about different, you know, artists and everything like this. A lot of Hanabiya shirts, by the way, on the tubes and everything. As soon as I saw a Japanese shirts on the tube, I was like, I think I know where you guys are going. And I was right. But there's a lot of Hanabiya shirts, I noticed. And yeah, we were talking about artists and stuff for a bit. We were talking about with the gentleman in front of us as well. And this was hilarious that he suddenly, after 5 minutes of talking, he suddenly goes, do I know you? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, I know you, don't I? And then he recognized me from the channel, which is always, by the way, insanely sweet and lovely and flattering. But the imposter syndrome it gives you, my God, you would not believe. It gives you, like, it's insane. The first time it happened was when I went to a Korean rock band, Rolling Quartz. Shout out Rolling Quartz, they're awesome. And that was the first time, that was the first gig I'd been to since, you know, doing this YouTube stuff. And it's still surreal when it happens, but it's lovely. And as I said, it's insanely flattering. So the gentleman I was talking to was Tom, and that would be Life versus Tom, as he's known on YouTube. I'll pin his channel in the comment as well. And yeah, we were talking about all different things, and you know, we were talking about the channel, and his excitement was infectious from the start, and just a lovely guy. And we were in the queue not for too long after that, because I as far as like VIP doors opening, I was pretty late Like, not that the doors had already opened, but I was like only about 20 minutes before, so it was not a lot of waiting for me. I was quite far back because, again, how many people there were for the VIP. And then we got moving, and, you know, we were lucky with the rain. Didn't start raining. We finally go in. And, you know, they give us this. They give us this, which was part of the VIP package. And, fun thing, I have not opened this yet. I have pretty good patience, folks. A pretty good patience, as people on the channel might know, with me waiting, you know, to check out songs and everything as an example. But I have pretty good patience. I have not opened this yet, so I am going to do that now, since we're in this part of the story where I was opened. You would have seen it already, by the way, but I did give, have put in piano covers in the background of BAND-MAID. I don't know if I'm going crazy. Let me know if I am, if it's some sort of weird Mandela effect, but I swear I saw a video a few years ago of, like, a BAND-MAID cover medley of just loads of songs covered on piano by BAND-MAID, and I know Puzzle was in it. I know this happened, and I couldn't find the video anywhere, so I don't know if people know what video I'm on about, but I you know, if you couldn't have that, at least, you know, I got this. And J-Rock PI or J-Rock P is who I've gone with as well, so big shout out to them in the background. This is the first thing I have opened and have seen. That is pretty lovely. Very, very nice. Nice little glow on that as well. Signed, obviously. Very, very cool. Want to say as well, with Life vs. Tom, Tom said, well, I'll be calling Tom from now on, because it is his name. He mentioned how Pohoji-san, this was so great about this day, by the way, is that I want to share it as well. Other Brother Guy is one of the first commenters I noticed, like regular commenters on my YouTube channel in the first few months that I did it, and I bumped into him before I got to the end of the queue, and he was absolutely lovely. And when he mentioned his YouTube name, I was just like, when you see someone who, you know, you've seen comments from and had exchanges with for years, and finally see their face, is really, really cool. So shout out to Other Brother Guy as well. But yeah, Pohoji-san was at, I think, near the front of the VIP queue. I'm not too sure. And I still, unfortunately, don't know what Pohoji-san looks like. But the reason I knew of Pohoji-san at this gig is Life vs. Tom. Tom basically showed me this, like, I wish I had a photograph of it, this beautiful, you know, postcard with this anime style drawing on it of, I think, Akane is what he had, and it was so amazing, like the drawing and everything. And Pohoji-san apparently was, you know, giving them out, which is insanely kind, and Pohoji-san was on the warpath to find me, so sorry Pohoji-san, you could not find me. I've had a bit of feedback, folks, that apparently people were looking out for me, either to kill me because of certain songs that I put in certain places during a ranking series, or, you know, certain things with asterisks and all that business. Thankfully I've survived, as you can see. But I don't think a lot of people recognize me. I walked past the entire VIP queue and quite a bit of the general admissions queue, and it wasn't I was looking like, hey guys, I wasn't doing any of that. But I've had a lot of feedback since from people saying I couldn't see you at the gig, but people probably did, but because of the trim and everything like that, I think that's why. That's the feedback I got anyway, because I think in my last BAND-MAID, few BAND-MAID ranking episodes, I look a bit fluffy, you know. I film a lot of those in one go when it comes to the BAND-MAID ranking episodes. Like I filmed 4 in a go, which is why I've got the same shirt on all the time. Also, I was not in black like I normally am in these videos. That was another thing. I was wearing a white shirt with blue anyway. But yeah, Pohoji-san, sorry for not seeing you there and not being able to find each other, because I would have loved to have had a chat with you anyway, let alone the fact that you were planning to give me one of those amazing postcards. Tom mentioned as well, guys, and I'm sure you guys watching will be aware of this, when before the show started, a few hours before, or maybe a good few hours before, I think people met at a fan cafe in London, some Maidiacs. I wish I knew about it. I would have gone 100%. I would have got to London earlier that day and everything, and I absolutely would have gone. I heard it was great. I heard it was you know, it's a good community, and I will be praising this community quite a bit. I can tell you that I will be praising them quite a bit in this video, but I would love to have been there, but Tom said it was great. Anyway, going back to this bag. I wish I opened the bag now. I wish I opened the bag now. This was for the show. I'll wear it now. I was thinking at the time, I was like, oh, I'll do it for the video. I'll do it for the video. I'll open it on the video. That'd be cool. Would have been cool to wear that. I don't think I even noticed people wearing them. Actually, I think Tom Tom might have had something around his neck like this, and I was like, I didn't clock it at the time. Right, what else is in here? You have noticed, by the way, folks, probably. I'll mention that in a second. Oh, is this a poster? What is this a flag? I am actually gonna open this up. It looks like some sort of flag. Because I've not seen what like the VIP pack includes or anything like that as well. I've not seen, so this is a flag, isn't it? Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome. Got upside down. That is pretty awesome. That is beautiful. Wow. Love the color scheme, obviously perfect. Black, white, red. That is amazing. That's going. I'm gonna have to put that on a wall in my room or something. As you can see, I'm still down here at the moment because it's too hot in my attic at the moment, folks. But that will be going somewhere. I honestly thought I was supposed to when I opened it up, which still would have been great. But like, that's incredible. That is so good, right? That if that was, and it might have been, or a different version of it, if that was a part of the merch stand, I actually would get that. That's insanely cool. Right, I think this is the last thing. And that's going to go on my key. It's a key ring. Don't know how well people can see that. I'll have to take it out. Otherwise, it just looks like metal. If you guys are seeing it like that, I'll have to take it out. Thought it picks up on the camera. It says BAND-MAID World Tour 2026. That will be going on my keys. 1000%. So yeah, we picked those up, guys. We picked those up, went in, and you know, if you look at the building, if you look at the electric bricks and outside, I think it's been there for a good few years. I'm gonna check actually. There'll be a bit of me looking at my screen, by the way, doing this. Wow, that is surprising. Oh wait. So it says the current Electric Brixton venue has been open since September 2011. That's why I was surprised at, because it seems very, well, not recent, but you know what I mean. However, the historic building has served as an entertainment and music space for over a century, originally opening as the Palladium Picture House Cinema in March 1913. That checks out more, because the building from the outside looks quite, you know, quite old and everything. And then when you go in, it was pretty good size and everything. The capacity, which is important to bring up because I will be mentioning something along those lines about BAND-MAID shows and capacity in a second, as I'm sure a lot of people have. Yeah, I checked this actually when we were in the show itself, but it's 1500 capacity, and BAND-MAID originally I think we're going to do the O2 Academy in Islington, which is an even lower capacity than that. And they must have moved to this because they saw the tickets go so quick and everything like that, and they saw the demand for it, you know. Because what I'll say it now, 1500 is not big enough, I would say, for BAND-MAID. We were talking about it. I was talking about with a certain gentleman who I'll mention in a second, who I think you guys might know, a lot of you. But we were talking about it, how it's like, yeah, okay, in London they couldn't do Wembley Stadium, sadly, right? They couldn't do Wembley Arena, But there's got to be a middle ground somewhere, that this venue is actually probably still too small for them. We're talking about the Electric Brixton when it comes to the capacity. I think BAND-MAID, what would work for them a lot is if you even go into the 3,000s, 4,000s capacity venues, and I think they could fill it easily. Because, like, especially if it's London, for example, where everybody from the UK, different countries, you know, Scotland, Wales, England, people come from Ireland. I don't know if they did a show in Ireland, actually. I'm not too sure. But if they didn't, you know, you're going to get people from all those countries coming to this show. So I absolutely think they can do that. I don't think there would be any empty spaces at all. And maybe it can go even higher than that. I don't know. I'd love for that to be the case. Because, God, they deserve it massively. But I didn't see the merch stand properly because money is a bit tight and stuff at the moment. So I just went and carried on going to my right, and I saw this gentleman talking to a few people, and he was sat down and everything like that, and he was sat behind the disabled section of the audience, and I just walked up and everything like that, and I saw he had like Miku, like he had a customized shirt, a yellow shirt. It was Miku on there, and there was barcodes on there as well. Not barcodes, QR codes on there as well. And I was like, this guy looks like a character, bloody hell. And Tom, who I was with at the time, you know, he recognized the man, and he said, "Oh, hey Tony, how you doing?" And I was thinking, I was going through in my head, and I was like, Tony Griffin, as in Tony Griffin, who's got. Because this is what I'm like when it comes to, you see the same, when people are commenting on your videos a lot, guys, you notice the same profile picture, obviously, a lot of the time, and it kind of, if you got a good long-term memory, it kind of sinks in there and everything. And I was like, Tony Griffin's the BAND-MAID logo with the Welsh flag. I'm pretty sure. So I started talking to him, and it was him and everything like that, and lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. I think Tony said he's from Cardiff. I'm from the Swansea Valleys, is where I'm from, so we're rivals now, not really. And he was a lovely guy, and he was talking to a few people like that, and there was this tall gentleman with glasses, and he introduced himself to me. I think it was Paul. I don't want to get it wrong. I think it might have been Paul Engineer. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, sir, let me know. Because the name, it was doing a loud moment and everything like that. And he was a lovely man, though. Absolutely lovely man. And yeah, we were talking to Tony for a bit, and it was the same thing happened again. Talking for a few minutes, and I was like, "Oh, it's really good to see, you know, a fellow Welshman," and everything I said to him. And I didn't realize at the time why, but Tony went quiet for a few seconds, and and then he just went like that, and he went, "Okay, Ross." So again, guys, a haircut makes a big change. Apparently, a haircut can really make you look like a different person in some ways. But yeah, he recognized me, and I've seen Tony comment on a few stuff again with how Tony's such a great fan to BAND-MAID, as you guys might know, and it was great talking to him. And then I saw my arch nemesis, one of them, because I've got many when it comes to the BAND-MAID fans, as you guys know. That's a joke. And that was Gary, who unfortunately wasn't feeling well. Gary, I think, wasn't feeling well in the queue, so they brought him in, and they sat him down in the disabled section. He wasn't doing too well at the time, but he greeted me with a smile and everything. Gary, who's mentioned it in my comment section anytime he gets. Gary, I think, went to that Rolling Quartz gig I mentioned earlier, but because I didn't think people would recognize me and stuff like that, you know, I mean, why would you? Back when that was for the Rolling Quartz gig, I think Gary was calling me at one point just before the show during the Rolling Quartz gig, and I think I don't know if someone was saying the name Ross, but they could have been talking about another Ross, right? And I looked through him. I just looked through him because I didn't think he was talking about me, you know. So he hasn't let me forget it for like years and years and years. So yeah, we chatted for a little bit, not too long, unfortunately, because he wasn't feeling too great. But it was really, really cool to finally meet him, and I know that's another man who's very loved in the BAND-MAID fan community with the Maidiacs and everything like that. Very, very loved. Hope he's doing well. Let me know. I'm sure you will, Gary. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. And I hope you've. I'm sure that gig might have helped you a little bit. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, brother. So yeah, I was talking to Tony for a while, and we were talking about, you know, different things. And Tony mentioned, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, I think he mentioned, I think it was Zeppelin, or Maiden, Iron Maiden. He said that, you know, he's as excited to see BAND-MAID as he was for those, and I was like, wow, that is a big compliment to BAND-MAID. That is a big compliment to BAND-MAID. Fair play. That's a real stamp of approval there. And he was giddy and everything like that. And I just love the fact that he was in this bright yellow shirt with QR codes. I think the QR codes were to his Facebook or something. I was like, that's brilliant. That's absolutely awesome. So yeah, we were just talking for a while then, and like this must have been around, oh, I don't know, like 6:30 or something like that. And there's a reason I'm mentioning times and everything, which I'll say in a second. But yeah, it was around 6:30 or something like that. And it was great hanging with these guys. You know, I was hanging with Tom and Tony, and Tom very kindly brought me and Tony one of these each, which I thought was insanely cool of him. At the merch stand, he went to the merch stand to get them, and it was brilliant because we saw one of these. I think they had a yellow one, and it was the same yellow as Tony's t-shirt, and I was like, that's got to go to Tony. I'm not having that. It's black, plus this is black, like my heart, like, do you know what I mean? And plus we're black in these videos all the time anyway. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really good. And people like, even with VIP and people getting in early, I would say the stand-in area was like half full. You know, people wanting to get good spots, because it was like 1,500 is obviously a lot of people, but we were packed in like sardines, man. When the show started, we were packed in like sardines. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm glad that the people in front of us in the disabled section, they were on seats, they had a lot of space. That was good. But the people standing anywhere else, you were packed like sardines, you know. So people made their way in and everything like that. And I'm not just saying this, you know. It is like the community, the BAND-MAID community, and I knew this even from being online and on the BAND-MAID Discord. Shout out to the BAND-MAID Discord, by the way. They are so lovely. They are so passionate as well. But the energy that was in that room that day, everybody was just so happy to be there, and it was just easy to see that. It's just absolutely easy to see that, you know. And that's just before the show started, you know. That was before the show started, and to be amongst that was honestly a pleasure. It really was. It really was a pleasure, you know, to even before the show starts to be amongst that. And I want to say there will be one. I'm the type of person that wants to get cons out of the way before I get to the pros. There is one con that I want to talk about, and it is absolutely a nitpick by the end of the show. It is a nitpick by the end of the show, and I've seen a lot of other people talk about this as well, so I don't think it's just me. So get to about 7 PM. Obviously, people are still coming in. You know, people are still coming in when it comes to general admission, which is absolutely fine. I think what was advertised is that pretty much the show was going to start at 8, which still was like a long time. Like, you know, I think we got let in at 5 or 6, so that's VIPs. I think we got in 5 or 6. We got let in. I can't remember. And it was a long time for us. And then general admission comes in at about 7, and you know, I think general admission coming in at 7 and giving people an hour to get in, giving people a good chance to get in for the show to start at 8, I think is good. I think that's a good time to get it. 8 comes around and we're starting to like think, hang on, what's going on here? You know, is there something wrong or anything like that? Because we haven't even seen the sound check happen yet, you know. And we're thinking, bloody hell, this is, and you know, I was thinking it, and I was thinking, well, you know, I've been to shows before, and you don't know what's going on backstage. Something might be going on backstage, which is delaying things, you know. but I think it's because we were so packed in, we were so hot at that point, that I think at like 20 to 8, everyone was there. Like, and we had a tier above us as well. There were people above us on like a balcony as well. Don't know how many people were up there. I didn't see properly, but everybody was there. So 20 to 8, everybody was there. So again, 8 o'clock I think would have been a great time to start. And then it gets to about 10 past, and it's like, man, what's going on? And Tony, Tony was saying to me and Tom, we were all a bit curious, like when it was going to start. And I was lucky because I had obviously talked to people that had been to shows on this tour already. I messaged someone and I said, listen, what time does the show start for you? And he said, oh, late, yeah. He said they started the sound check at like 8:15, and they started the show at like 8:45. And I was like, wow. Because that's the thing, is that the sound check was fast. They did it. They did a great job on the sound check. They were very, very efficient with it, and they got it done pretty quickly. And I don't know why that was, really, because once I heard that it happened elsewhere, I was like, oh, this isn't like an accident. This isn't like something that's happening in the background. This is a choice that they're doing elsewhere, And when I say they, I mean the organizers and stuff, obviously, guys. I'm not talking about the maids themselves. And I'll be honest with you guys, like you saw in the clip earlier, it was a really good reaction when they walked out at 8:45. I think it was. It ended up being 8:45. They walked out. It was a really good reaction. But I expected when BAND-MAID to walk out with this amazing fan base, this passionate fan base that they have, I expected to go deaf. Right, even with 1,500 people, I expected to go deaf. And I was obviously shouting and stuff and cheering when they came out. And they got a very good reaction. However, I will say this as my nitpick, and take it as constructive criticism. This is the only con, by the way, I'm going to have in this show, because you'll see. I think that 45 minutes when they could have potentially done the sound check earlier, that 8:45 start, what happens with a crowd is that if you keep a crowd waiting, they build up the anticipation. I've been in so many different crowds at festivals, gigs, and everything like that, and I've seen examples of it, of getting it perfect, making people wait so that they're really gearing to go, and then boom, you come out and it's perfect timing, everybody's going absolutely crazy. I've seen it at shows where it goes on way too long, and then when the people come out, what tends to happen is that they get a good reaction, but they don't get a massive reaction they could have got if they timed it better. And it can take a bit for the crowd to get back in. That's what I've encountered as well at shows. And I don't know if I've ever encountered anybody coming on too early or anything like that, but those two things I've noticed a lot at shows, gigs, festivals, etc. And what I think happened here is that when they all came out, it was a little bit of relief for us at first, rather than BAND-MAID, like that. Like, it was still a good reaction, as you heard earlier, but I think if you come out earlier, it benefits everybody, because I think there was a curfew on the building too, so the ladies themselves don't need to rush. They can maybe talk more, and there's not so much of a like check-in time element to it. And when it comes to the crowd themselves, because sadly there was some stuff that happened later on, which isn't a negative at all to the organization, but just one of those things that sadly happened. But what tends to happen is that the crowd just gets a bit antsy and everything like that. I will say this though, and this is where we go from con to all the pros. Fair play to BAND-MAID, because that audience, I could tell were a good audience, even from the off, as I said before the show and everything like that. So BAND-MAID, and this is where we start to talk about the show itself. BAND-MAID started with Domination. Which I thought was a great call, that they started with that. And the crowd, I think it took 30 seconds and the crowd were where they should be. Right, and this isn't against the crowd, because I think again that long wait may have done it a little bit, but the crowd's energy was there. That's what I was expecting. So it was only 30 seconds, so that's why it's a nitpick. See, it's a nitpick because I do love artists and bands and groups that I go see live have that amazing like first, you know, walk out and like everybody going crazy. You know, I love that. You know, so like that was the only thing that was affected a little bit, and that's why I would say it's a nitpick rather than a con. But constructive criticism, I just don't think it would hurt anyone if they started earlier. I don't think it would hurt anyone, and I think it would benefit everyone, including the band themselves. Again, if it was something that was happening backstage or an issue, fair enough. But because it's happened at other shows too, it seems more a choice. So I would just start the sound check earlier. Con out of the way. Let's talk about the bloody show. Domination. Jeez, mate. Oh my god. Great start. And what's going to be interesting with the set list, right? Because I got the set list in front of me, is that what I'm going to tell you guys as I go along, for the people who watch the Ultimate BAND-MAID ranking as well, of the songs that I've not heard at all, spoilers BAND-MAID, and of the songs that I've not ranked yet. So I'll be doing that as I go along. Domination, you know, I mean, Domination was like one of the first live videos I ever watched from BAND-MAID, and to see it live was awesome. And as soon as they started, I was like, wow, guitars sound great. Again, fair play to the sound check. Guitars sound great. The bass, I'll be talking about Misa a lot in this, folks. The drums sound great, and this as well, and I'll be talking about this lady big time. Saiki's vocals really sounded great, and sounded, you could hear them cleanly, you could hear them clearly. Great volume and everything on that as well. So that, as soon as that happened, like I said, 30 seconds is all it took for these ladies to get the crowd going. And I want to say as well of something I noticed with Saiki, and it's something I've noticed a little bit watching their live videos, but of course with live videos on YouTube, the camera is showing different people all the time and everything, right? Because it's the official lives that I've seen. Saiki does this thing. You guys will know. With the crowd. And I was like, I think I've seen her do it before in live videos, but actually seeing it there, I was like, what's she doing? What's she doing? And I went from this. This was my exact response to what she was doing. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, the crowd are going crazy. Wow, the crowd are like going hey in time with the hey. And I just started doing it myself. Like, it was just like being hypnotized and stuff. She is like, I don't want to mention this too much because I want to talk about the different members and stuff at a particular point in the video, but I'll spoil a little bit now. She is amazing as a front woman. Oh my god, man, the way she gets the crowd going, instantly she got the crowd. And when I say people going like that, right, I've been to shows, you may have 75% of the crowd do that or something like that. Every hand, every fist was in the air from the off for Domination, and completely in time with her doing this. And the thing is, right, she was doing it effortlessly. She wasn't like going like, everybody okay, like that. She was just like a badass like that. I just instantly thought that was so cool. And again, that sort of crowd control and audience control, that's not easy, man. She from the off, I was insanely impressed. So Domination was great. We went into Super Sunshine, folks. Which is a spoiler. I've not heard Super Sunshine. BAND-MAID, can you please warn me next time, please? Thank you. I said before as well, guys. I didn't say before, actually, it was said to me. People were asking me before the show started, and even leading up to the show in the days before, what song, and it's a lovely question, what song do you want to be done live? Because I didn't look at the set list before, by the way. You guys know what I'm like with spoilers. I don't like to look at the set list before because I don't want to know what's coming next. I want to have that surprise element as well. Even though I know that from city to city they can switch up song order and everything. But I was like, I didn't tell people mine. I didn't want to tell people because I didn't want them to confirm or deny whether it would be on the set list. So sorry to everybody who asked me, and I refused the question. But there were, I would say, I mean, I'd be happy with a lot of the songs that BAND-MAID do, to be honest with you. But there was 4 songs that I would say that I really wanted to see live. There was some I knew that would be done anyway. But there was 4 songs that there was a question mark with, and I was curious if they were going to do live. How many would... One of those songs was done. One of those songs was done, and I'll mention it when we get to it. The 3 others, I can tell you 2 of them. One of them I don't want to say for certain reasons. Puzzle, I would have loved to have seen live. Absolutely loved to have seen live. If you know where it is on my ranking right now, as of the recording of this video, you know. I would have loved to have heard. Wait, no, is it more 3 songs? I think actually, because the others I thought they might do anyway. Yeah, it's 3. No, 4. They did 2. Sorry, they did 2. 2 out of 4. I just remembered one that's coming up in a second. They did 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4 were the ones that I wanted. I'll mention the 2 that they actually did. Puzzle was the one they didn't do, and the other song is 3 words. The song title is 3 words. That's all I'll say. So right, Super Sunshine, really cool track. Really enjoyed it. It's very surreal to hear like a song, a BAND-MAID song for the first time live. There is very cool, very cool. But yeah, I'm here before, and I thought they did a great job with it. Absolutely great job with it. The only thing I would say, I'm getting remembering stuff as I go. Yeah, folks. By the way, can you tell I got ADHD by this bloody vlog? Like the only thing with I haven't even said where I was stood. I'm BAND-MAID stage, right? Looking out to the audience. I'm there. I am literally like this. I'm leaning across the barricade of the back of the disabled section the entire time before and after the show. I was walking away like that to the tubes afterwards. But if you saw a man in a bright yellow t-shirt, that was a good way to find me as well. But yeah, I'm like there. It was a good spot. What the reason I remembered it was that there was just one thing with it I was gutted about, is that there was this pole in front of a microphone I noticed before the show started, and I was like, oh no, who's that? Who's that going to block? And it was Kanami. So I was blocked. Kanami vision was blocked a little bit. Thankfully, Kanami obviously goes around the stage, especially when she's doing solos and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. But when she was at the stand, just couldn't see her that much. That was the only thing. But other than that, it was a good spot, and it was great to see not only BAND-MAID from that viewpoint, but the crowd. Like to see those fists and everything go up. It was very cool. Choose Me was next. That was pretty bloody great as well. Choose Me was like Choose Me is one of those songs that I thought they might do, and I was so glad that they did, and it was fantastic, absolutely amazing. Obviously, it's an absolute banging song, and this is again where I was reminded that the sound of the venue is actually pretty good. Fair play. Like acoustics were pretty good in there, I would say, and. The thing is that I realized, like, I went to a gig once, and it was Dreamcatcher, who are a K-pop, who basically the reason this channel exists. They're a K-pop group that are very rock infused and everything, and they got me into K-pop and everything, and because their music is quite, quite hard and even quite heavy at times, yeah, believe it or not, for K-pop. With EDM and the rock elements and even metal elements coming in, I went to see Dreamcatcher live, and I was pretty close to the front, and Dreamcatcher were very good, and Saiki, by the way, and Miku were very good at this too, of actually making eye contact with individual members of the crowd, all over the place, by the way, all over the place, like really engaging people. And the funny thing with Dreamcatcher is that I was so close to Dreamcatcher that when I listen to music live, folks, stank face, head bobbing. It happens, as you see in these videos. It happens, right? And I was just terrified of these, these artists and stuff looking down at me and seeing that in response, because there was a lot of stank face at this gig, folks. Let me tell you, there was a lot of stank face, loads of it, as you can imagine. When it comes to BAND-MAID, absolutely loads of it. I was great as well. It was like I was looking at the disabled section, and there was a few people, headbanging, which I thought was really awesome. I thought it was really awesome. No mosh pits at BAND-MAID. Not that they need to be there. There was one at the warning, but I would say BAND-MAID aren't. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they're a mosh pit sort of band. By the way, no, I'm not saying that as a negative at all. Like not. I would want to go in a mosh pit at my age at this point anyway, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't think they're that kind of band anyway. But still, the energy from everyone was just insane. So they did a few extended intros into some of their songs, and oh my god, these intros were unbelievable. I always love when bands do this anyway, to be honest with you. I love it. I think it makes the songs that they go into even better. I love long songs anyway, so I love songs that can take you on a journey. So if you have an extended intro going into that, as I did with Shambles, like it's really gonna work for me, and shows off how amazing they are musicians as well. Absolutely amazing they are as musicians. It really does. Not ranked Shambles, by the way. Not ranked that one yet, but I have checked it out obviously before, and god, Tear Light was pretty badass. Forbidden Tale was after that. And I've not ranked that yet, but I've checked it out. That song's amazing. That song's amazing. And I probably should talk about the band members and stuff as I go along here. So I noticed with Akane that obviously anytime I check out a live video of BAND-MAID online, the official live videos, she's constantly smiling when she's playing the drums. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're going from camera to camera, right? You're going from camera showing one member to camera showing another member, etc., right? So I think subconsciously I thought, oh, right, so is Akane constantly smiling during the shows, like every second? Yes. Anytime I looked over at her, because when I'm at a gig, I really like to, see what people are doing at different times, not try and focus too much on the lead singer and everything. I do try and, include the lead singer. And anytime I looked over at her, she was like smiling and doing the craziest drumming you'll ever see effortlessly. It was just like, how do you do this? Like, as someone who used to play the drums, how do you do this? She was incredible, as expected. She was incredible. I mean, people know when it comes to BAND-MAID how much I pick out Akane's drumming, because obviously I used to play the drums myself, and she is without a doubt one of the best drummers I've ever seen live. Without a doubt, one of the best, possibly contender for the best, to be honest with you. And how effortless she makes it look, I'm just like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Then we got the first chat, and I was very much looking forward to these little intermissions and stuff when they talk, because of how much these ladies are great characters as well, And Miku. I'll get to it later further, or for a certain important part of any BAND-MAID show, but they're so sweet. I said to my family when I came home the next day, I said, it is so surreal to see these ladies, who are so sweet and so adorable, talk and everything like that, who are genuinely lovely, and then they start playing, and it's like the contrast. I love it. And with Miku and the rest of them talking and stuff, you absolutely saw that. And I think people mentioned this to me before the show, when they saw a few clips of BAND-MAID on tour lately, that they mentioned Kanami's English has improved a lot. And I don't know what Kanami's English was like before, but I was like, yeah, she's got very good English. Very good English. I thought her English was very good when she was talking. But yeah, I love these, like, what I love with BAND-MAID as well, when it comes to them doing these talks, is they are 100% themselves, They don't worry at all about any judgment. Not that they would be judged by literally their fans or anything, but they're just completely themselves, you know. And that's a great quality in anyone, and I think all of them have that. I would say all of them have that. Once that was over, we went to the Brightest Star. Spoilers, BAND-MAID. Haven't heard it yet. So thanks for that. Very, very cool song though. Very, very cool. Looking forward to, you know, listening to the studio version when I get to it, and everything like that, and ranking it too. But that was a pretty badass song as well. Great riffs, awesome riffs in that song. I don't know how long it's going to be till I get to that one, but it was very, very cool. Very, very cool. And then I was absolutely over the moon, because there's two videos, guys, when it comes to me, when I recommend BAND-MAID to people. 2 videos. I recommend, well, it's 3 actually. I recommend, not in this order, depends on the person, Domination, because Saiki is there, and it's just an amazing live video. I think the official live video of that is awesome, and there's a reason why, you know, it's got so many views and everything. And I think a lot of people go with that as a first recommendation. From now on, I'll be talking about that soon. And Onset is what I showed my family. So I have this emotional attachment to Onset, I would say, because I literally in this room, actually, I showed my family, and my family had what I think most people have when they see BAND-MAID is, oh, what is this? You know, like when it comes to the outfits and everything like that, they're like, what? I had that. I'll be honest with you guys, I had that. You know, you look at my first reaction to BAND-MAID, you could probably see in my eyes, I'm a bit like, oh, okay. And then I showed my family Onset, and all I said was, don't judge a book by its cover. And I pressed play, and I let the whole video play. I couldn't see their expressions or anything, and then it ended, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're big rock fans, you know, big rock fans, and they were blown away, absolutely blown away by Onset. They, like, you know, my mother, who I showed, was just saying, I did not expect that. And I was like, yep, that's kind of a normal reaction, to be honest with you. And you know, sharing music, I think, is a very vulnerable and a very beautiful thing, but it can hurt you a little bit, to be honest with you, if you share music. And if it's not for other people, fair enough, but like, if people are pretty thing with it, you know, it can hurt you a little bit, because you're so protective of it. And the way that my family took that day, like, it made me a bit emotional. So anytime I check it out now, I weirdly, I think it's badass, but I think it's also, I get quite emotional at it, you know. And to hear it live, yeah. Was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing. And I want to say this as well, something I've noticed in general with BAND-MAID's instrumentals now, is that I've noticed that they've got a particular member on the keys when they do it. I absolutely love that. I love that. And I've heard that when they do From Now On live, Saiki's on the keys, and I'm like, that just sounds like heaven. That just sounds like heaven, because my love for From Now On, the only thing with it is that Saiki's not there. So Saiki being on the keys now and everything like that, that's good. But Onset was, I just amazing, and I was chuffed, absolutely chuffed. Then one of my favorite moments from the gig, I would say, and it was out of nowhere for me, because I've not watched any live videos for BAND-MAID leading up to the tour or anything. Excuse me. And I didn't see it coming at all. And I just mentioned about intros when it comes to, sorry if you can hear the phone ringing, guys. I just mentioned about intros when it comes to, you know, going into the song and everything. And they did Toi et Moi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But But before they did that, they did an intro, and it was Misa and Akane. And Misa, basically, like, I've realized why Misa is my favorite bassist of all time, which he is, by the way, and I knew that even before seeing them live. Misa is my favorite bassist of all time because, as other people have said, she doesn't play it like a bass, she plays it like a lead guitar, as well as doing amazing bass lines. So when it is more traditional bass, she's ridiculous at that. But she also plays it like a lead guitar. And Misa did this intro for Toi et Moi. And I've never seen a bassist ever do that before. Ever. Like, where it's this melodic, beautiful piece of music where they are the lead and they're doing the melody of it. The bassist. And I was just gobsmacked. I'm just shaking my head. There was a lot of times I was shaking my head during this show. Just the amazement of it all. And that piece of music, that instrumental that they do for that intro. Oh my god, wow. Absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And Akane coming in as well when she came in was amazing. Again, I've never seen anybody play bass like Misa does. So to see her live was amazing. And obviously I know she's insanely shy and she was here, but I think you know, they actually got her to speak a bit of English. This is a bit later in the show, I think, but they actually got her to speak a bit of English. I think Kanami was like Kanami was in the back of Misa's head, just like that, and I think she was whispering English to Misa to repeat and everything like that. It was very, very sweet. But that moment, honestly, that intro when it comes to Toi et Moi, wow, I was gobsmacked at that. Like, gobsmacked at that. You guys will know well where I think of BAND-MAID instrumentals, you know. And the song itself wasn't bad either. Haven't heard it before. Have not heard it before, guys. I believe there's an official live of it, you know, that dropped quite a bit ago. And I think let me know in the comments if I should. I think that I don't know if I should wait for it to come into the ranking. I don't know, but I kind of want to check that out. I kind of want to check the official live out of that because I thought the song was really, really cool. Really, really cool. But man, that intro into it was mind-blowing. And then the next song was the other song that I wanted them to do live, and I'm so happy that they did. And I didn't know if they would. I don't know how much of a regular it is. And that would be Manners, folks. That would be Manners. I did not know they were going to do Manners live, and I adore that song. Absolutely adore that song. You know, really, really love that song a lot. And to hear that pure rock that song is, you know, is an amazing rock piece of music. And to hear that groove that it has live, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And I want to say as well, Miku, who I will go back to for a particular important part of any BAND-MAID show, as I said earlier. I want to say with Miku, when I talk about BAND-MAID to people, and I talk a little bit about their history, shout out to Orange, by the way, whose amazing documentaries helped me out with it. I, with Miku, have so much admiration, love, and respect for her, as I'm sure any BAND-MAID fan does, because of how important and integral she is to BAND-MAID being BAND-MAID, you know, and being around in general. And the thing that blows my mind with her, though, is the guitar element of it, and hearing about the fact that, you know, how quickly she picked up guitar, how driven she was at improving in with the rhythm guitar and everything too, and it's cool it's really good as a backstory to know that's how she started it. But if you didn't know who BAND-MAID were, and your mate dragged you to a BAND-MAID show, you just think, oh, what a great guitarist. You know, that's how great she was. And she was amazing guitarist and everything too, and how she works off Kanami and everything as well. I thought she was awesome, and she just improves and improves and improves. So massive props to Miku. We had Lock and Load after that. Once again, spoilers, BAND-MAID. Haven't heard it before, folks. The first time hearing it was live, so again, it's so surreal, so awesome to hear, you know, songs I hadn't heard before live. Even though, you know, you want the familiarity with the song, and you want to chant and everything like that, and you want to, you know, sing with the parts you can sing with, or hum with the parts you can hum with. It is still cool to listen to a song for the first time, you know, in a live setting like that. And Lock and Load was pretty badass. Present Perfect was next. Once again, spoilers, BAND-MAID. Yeah, hadn't heard it. Thanks a lot, BAND-MAID. Spoiling me again. No, it was great. It was great, guys. Really cool song again. And probably time to finally talk about Kanami, I think. Kanami was... Kanami. God, man, she's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Not only the riffs and everything, but obviously I was so happy with her solos. Like I said, that she came to the front of the stage and everything, and went around the stage a little bit. I've seen some amazing guitarists in my life. I've been very lucky to see some amazing guitarists, and she is up there. She's up there. Especially when it comes to the gigs that I've been to, I don't think, except for maybe Matt Bellamy, I don't think I've heard a guitarist do as many guitar solos and stuff. You know, whether it be for transition or more of like a bulky extended one. And yeah, I thought that, you know, she was outstanding. And anytime she did a guitar solo, it got a massive reaction from the crowd, and it got a massive reaction from me, by the way, as well. And I just look at what she does, and I'm just like, I've never been able to play a guitar. I can't even strum a guitar or anything like that. And I just look at her and I'm like, how do you do this? You know, how do you do this? She was amazing. An amazing energy as well. Amazing energy throughout the whole show. The next song, there's a really beautiful moment that I saw, and I don't think anybody else did, as well, that happened during the show, and I was very lucky to see it. And the next song is Endless Story, folks. And I've been listening to that song a lot, and I've been listening to that song a lot after the show as well. And, you know, that song is beautiful, and the story and the message of it, and how it links with BAND-MAID and BAND-MAID's fans and everything too. But just, you know, even if you want to look at it as more of an introspective thing, it's an amazing song. And I've got, you know, especially the official live video of Endless Story with Saiki in particular. Saiki breaks me in that video, as I'm sure she does a lot of other people. She, you know, she's so emotional in that performance, and the way she sang this song, you know, seeing it live was amazing. And the beautiful moment that I want to talk about is that I was behind, like I said, I'm on the railings for the disabled section, and you're pretty aware of people in front of you and everything. And I looked around during Endless Story to see if there were people that were, you know, getting emotional and everything. And there were, but in particular, there was this lady right in front of me, sat down right in front of me in the disabled section. And she was enjoying the show throughout it all, and you could tell she was a fan. But, you know, her attention was, you know, taken by different things. Not the band, but by different things at different times. I noticed. I clock on to details like that. During Endless Story, she was crying. She was crying, and she was fixed. She was fixed on Saiki, eyes fixed on Saiki, and she was crying. And I thought how beautiful it was to to see a lady who's, you know, I don't know if she speaks Japanese. I don't know if she understands Japanese, but to see a lady from another part of the world, from Japan, get emotional for a song that's, while it's got English in there, obviously, is in a different language, and to know the message of it and everything like that. And I'm sure she does know the lyrics, but yeah, it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful moment, and only I saw it, and everything like that as well. And I don't know if she'll ever see this. She may not. She may not even know it was her that I'm talking about. But it was like, it was very touching. The song was touching me alone. So to see someone else get touched by it as well was really beautiful. I want to give another shout out to Tony Griffin, by the way, because Tony, it was hot, folks. As you could guess, we were packed in like sardines. It was hot. Tony was handing me and Tom and the people around him cleaning wipes, so we could just wet our face and stuff a little bit, you know, because it was that hot, and everything, which I thought was hilarious. But I appreciated it massively. The next song after that, I think, is Sean. Is it Sean? S-I-O-N or Sion? Sion? The reason I definitely don't know is because, once again, spoilers, BAND-MAID. I've not heard this song before, guys. Again, another great one. Thought it was very, very cool. Very, very cool. And I'm curious, let me know, because you guys will be the experts in the comments. Do BAND-MAID ever end a show with Endless Story? Because for me, it's such a beautiful end. No pun intended. It's such a beautiful end, I think, to a show to have that. With the message of it and everything too, and its connection to the BAND-MAID fans. That I know some people would argue that you want to go out with a banging song and everything like that, with like really heavy riffs and stuff, you know, bass lines, etc. But like, they must have done it once, you know. Maybe they did it at that official live, actually. Yeah, maybe they did do it at that official live. That would actually make sense if they did do it at that official live as well, actually. I think they do. But yeah, if they do it in general, like, let me know big time, because I think it's a perfect end to it. Another song after that, you know, I wasn't familiar with, Days. Spoilers, BAND-MAID. Very much looking forward to listening to these songs, guys. Listen to the studio versions and everything like that. I don't know if there's an official live for a lot of these songs that I've mentioned that I've not seen yet. I know there's one for Toi et Moi. I know there's one. I hope that video, by the way, has that amazing intro in it. Really hope that video has that amazing intro in it. And then we went to Energetic, which, spoilers, BAND-MAID. Yeah, that did what it said. Energetic is a good song title for that. That will get you going. That will 1000% get you going. Yeah, like, my god. And like I said earlier with Saiki, and the people still doing it, by the way, at this point, this far into the show, the energy and the stamina of the crowd was outstanding for the crowd anyway. Shout out to the crowd. But the way that, you know, in particular Saiki and Miku got the crowd going, they really kept the energy going up. Because the thing is, guys, these songs that I'm listing, by the way, like, I know we had, you know, a few, I've talked about one break so far after Forbidden Tale, and there's another one coming in a second. 2 breaks with 20 songs overall. Fair play, BAND-MAID. Fair play, BAND-MAID. You know, like, bloody hell. And the songs that they're doing are like, they take a lot of energy anyway. And I was thinking that during the show. I was like, bloody hell, they are just, they're going through them. You know, like, I was amazed. But the thing is, guys, going to see BAND-MAID live, I mean, I guess the songs and the music is a bonus, because the main event is looking forward to this. I was looking forward to this because this has a reputation, you know, this has a reputation, and this is where I properly talk about Miku and everything too. Miku is a one-of-a-kind pigeon, to say the least. Absolute one-of-a-kind pigeon, to say the least. She is so much herself, and I absolutely love her for it. The pose, I just love it. I just love the fact the pose just at the end of every sentence, you know, and how sometimes she puts emphasis on it and sometimes she does. I love it. I love her about it. I love her about it. But the way she was talking and stuff like that, she was amazing with the crowd. Absolutely amazing with the crowd, and the crowd were great with them as well. But the thing I need to talk about, and I don't know if this is a normal thing, because I know she's a magician. She said that at the start, right? Miku started, like, chanting something, and it was Brixton something, right? And where we were, we couldn't figure out what the second word was that she was saying for a bit, and she kept repeating it, and I was like, what's she saying? What's she saying? And then she started to go like that with the second word, and then we clocked that.
Windmill!
Oh, windmill, right. She was chanting Brixton Windmill. I had to look up after the show if there's a Brixton Windmill. There is. Apparently it's a landmark. Sorry to the people of Brixton. The people of Brixton, apparently it's a landmark. But the fact that she just started chanting this obscure landmark, I was dying laughing. And she started, you know, clapping and started doing these chants and everything like this. And then she switched it, I think, from Brixton Windmill to Tower Bridge. And I was like, all right, well, I've heard of that and everything. I was like, this is amazing. And the crowd, we were all, you know, all on her side for it and everything. And she was doing this familiar rhythm with her claps and everything like that. And I was like, fair play, this is great. And then she did the magic. And then she did the magician stuff. Because somehow, this lady, this pigeon, got all of us to smile and laugh, and laugh with her about chanting about Tower Bridge while clapping to the rhythm of it. And she turned it into We Will Rock You by Queen. We will rock you. One of the smoothest transitions I've ever seen. And we were suddenly chanting We Will Rock You. Like, she went from Brixton Windmill to We Will Rock You. And I was just like, wow. That is an entertainer, man. That is an entertainer. And it was such a good thing to get not only to give them a break, which was really bloody important again with how many songs they were doing in a row, but to give obviously the audience a breather. Because, you know, we're taking in all this amazing music and this energetic music and everything. But for it to be so entertaining as well. And for her to be so much Miku. Amazing. Amazing. We were all having a ball with that. It was excellent. Went back into an extended solo after that. And this is when we got Hate. Which, oh God, Hate is unbelievable. Not ranked it yet, by the way. But Hate is unbelievable. And I was... Obviously, when it comes to Hate, it's a badass song anyway, but you Misa and Kanami, you wait for that moment, and it did not disappoint when it came. It did not disappoint when it came. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Loved it. I'm so glad that they did Hate. Because again, like I said earlier, when it comes to BAND-MAID doing live songs, there's some songs that, to be honest with you, there were some songs that I thought for sure they would do, that they didn't do. But there were also a lot of songs that, you know, they have done. That they did, that I did expect at the same time. But the thing is, they've got so many songs at this point. I mean, God, you know, you can go with anything. Another extended solo after that, and I think they did say that they were going to be playing a brand new song, and I think there's a live video for this already. I haven't seen it yet, and it's unreleased, I think, at this as of this point, and it's Dilly Dally. And this was an insanely wholesome moment because the crowd were chanting and humming with everything, and they were doing the chants and everything like that, and I could see at the time that Kanami's like eyes were lighting up as they were playing this song. And she actually said afterwards, she was like, she could not believe people already knew, you know, she couldn't believe the fans already were able to do the chants and stuff like that, and she was just really flattered and amazed by that, which was lovely. And it was a tune, absolute tune. Ready to Rock came next. Obviously, I have checked out Ready to Rock. I've not ranked it yet. God, that song kicks ass. Man, that song kicks ass. That was awesome. That was amazing. And the crowd were crazy for that song. Absolutely crazy for that song. The riffs, that is a heavy song, by the way. It's a heavy song to listen to anyway, but to hear it live, man, that is wow. Really powerful. Really powerful. This is next the moment, guys, that I'm sure if you see a vlog about the London show, people will either talk about it briefly, may go into detail, or maybe just put it into a comment or something like that as well. But it has been mentioned a lot, I know. I'm gonna try to talk about it as briefly as possible, but I think it's important to mention because there's a positive at the end of it, I hope, right? Unfortunately, after Ready to Rock, I think it was after Ready to Rock and before No God, it was definitely before what ended the show. We knew the show was starting to come to an end and everything. Now the maids were saying so, and suddenly I noticed Saiki stopping her tracks and stuff, and the lights came on, the house lights came on, not house lights, but the lights on the crowd came stronger, and I noticed that in the middle of the standing crowd, I think someone had passed out and something had happened, because we could see this circle all of a sudden. The people around were shouting for a medic, and we were where we were. We you know, pretty powerless, and you know, you could see the maids and stuff like that. It was very sad to see them as well you could tell how concerned they were, as were we. And it took a bit of a time for the person in the middle to be seen to, and I was getting a bit confused why, because we saw a steward start to walk towards a side of that crowd, and we didn't realize until a few minutes later that it wasn't one person that passed out. It was two. There was someone else that passed out on the edge, and it was on the side that we were on as well. So that's why that steward stopped. But I've heard contrasting stories about what happened to those two people afterwards. So all I want to say is that those two people recovered during the show. Big shout out to the people around them that gave them space and helped them out. I do hope that they were well taken care of when it came to the staff of the Electric Brixton as well. I have heard some things, but I don't know for certain. Some not great things, but I don't know for certain again. I do hope they were okay. And if you are one of those people, I can understand if you don't want to share and everything like that. That's absolutely fine. But you know, let us know, because we were concerned when that happened, and you never want to see it. I've been to a few shows where it's happened, to be honest with you, and it's that sardine thing, man. It's that packed in like sardines for a long period of time. And remember what I said earlier, we were a packed house for hours, you know, hours, and that's hours before the show started, and the show itself was, you know, 2 hours itself. So you know, I don't know, I could be wrong. I didn't see waters being passed out throughout the show, and I do see that there are a lot of shows. There are normally stewards with waters being passed out at the front. I didn't see that. I don't know whether it's just my view was obscured. I'd hope that was happening, but if it didn't, not great, and it should happen. It should happen at every gig, I think, indoors. Well, outdoors on a sunny day too, but indoors as well. Like, it should happen. Yeah, big shout out to the crowd. I thought the crowd, especially the people that helped those people as well. And I give massive credit to this is where it kind of becomes a positive, because the maids themselves were so genuinely concerned, but they acknowledged it. They waved, you know, to the people that were being walked out and everything like that, trying to make sure they were okay. And they got the energy back up instantly. You know, they got the energy back up instantly, and the crowd was great as well as getting back involved, because obviously that's gonna stop momentum a little bit when something sad like that happens, you know. But I think the two people are okay, and I hope they were okay after the show as well. But yeah, the maids did a great job getting us back in. Then No God casually comes about. Bloody hell. No God, man. No God live is pretty crazy, you know. No God live is pretty crazy. And originally that was the end. And that was the end. And it was an amazing song to end on. And a great recovery from the crowd and the band alike with what happened. Especially when that happens so late, by the way, into a show. I've never been to a show where that's happened that late before. And I saw then that Saiki went to the others, because they told us that was the last song. And Saiki went to the others, and they're kind of in a huddle. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I turned to Tony, and Tony's like losing his mind a little bit. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And he's like, they don't do encores. And I was like, they don't? I didn't know, by the way. I was actually expecting an encore. Like, every show I go to, there's an encore. And he goes, they never do encores. And obviously that straight away tells me that they don't do encores. And then I see that they're preparing to do something. And then they play another song that I'm glad they played live. And they did Unleash as an encore, and I've been told since how much of an honor that was, because they don't normally do encores, and it was an honor. It was an honor and a pleasure. That song I'll be talking about pretty soon in the ranking series, I think. I quite like that song indeed. And very happy to hear it live. Very, very happy to hear it live. And I don't know whether the encore was given to us because of what happened, and it was like an quick on the fly thing, you know, to send people home a bit more positive. If it was, that is insanely quick thinking, fair play, and that's what that huddle might have been about. So I would check out. It would make sense if it was. But I don't know if it was what they were going to do anyway, because it was a great crowd, guys. I have to say, I'm sure BAND-MAID crowds around the world are awesome, but it was an amazing crowd. The crowd were amazing at this show. Absolutely brilliant. So I don't know whether it was a mixture of both, maybe. I don't know. But whatever it was very much the right decision to do that. And like I said, for me, I didn't realize how much of an honor it was until Tony said. Tony was mind blown, and makes sense why now. Makes sense why. So they ended on Unleash, and even though we're all standing anyway, like they had a long they had a long applause, not just people cheering, but they had a long applause, which was absolutely deserved. I would say, this is the best indoors rock gig I've ever been to, even with things happening, like that. Again, hoping those people are all right, but it was, and I think obviously BAND-MAID deserve a massive shout out for that. They're pretty important for that being a fact. But I think the crowd does too, guys, because I have to say the crowd that night were outstanding, absolutely outstanding. But when it comes to the, you know, musicianship, why can't I say that word? You know, what the hell? When it comes to that, it's some of the most skillful I've ever seen, especially that close up. Some of the most skillful I've ever seen, and the songs. It was a great choice, I would say, for the set list. Would there be some songs that I obviously would love to hear? Yeah, but that's me being selfish. They've got so many songs and they need to, you know, try and please everybody. I want to say before I end, because there's one person of the band you may have noticed that I've not talked about in detail, and that is Saiki. So I'm very lucky in the gigs that I've been to over the last few years, especially since starting YouTube. I mentioned earlier, I've been to K-pop gigs, I've been to K-pop shows and everything like that. And the thing is, if you guys don't know, when it comes to K-pop, and again, not expecting people to get into the music, but one thing you should know is that the vocal training for K-pop artists is bonkers. Like, K-pop vocalists are insanely expertly trained and stuff, right? So I've been to a lot of K-pop shows, so I've heard some amazing vocals live. Like outstanding, you know, like when it comes to belts, stability, range, lots of different things. Do you know where I'm going with this? Saiki blew my mind, to be honest with you. Not just with what she was like as a front woman and everything like that, which was bloody amazing, but her vocals literally made me at times go like that, just in amazement. I knew Saiki could sing, obviously. At this point, I've heard a lot of songs by BAND-MAID and everything, right? I knew she could sing, and I knew she could sing bloody well. Still blew my mind. Still blew my mind. She was insanely impressive, and that wasn't only me talking. Tom said it to me as well. Pretty sure Tony said it also. Hearing Saiki live, like with BAND-MAID, you know, the band get a lot of rightful praise for how they are experts in their instruments. I want to give Saiki that same praise for vocals. She blew my mind. Stability, the belts that she hit, which were lengthy, and she hit with absolute stability as well, by the way. The tone of her voice and the fact that it's got a bit of that rawness and everything too, so it's got that live factor, but it's still got control also at the same time. Amazing. Like that's why I wanted to leave Saiki till last, you know, to say that was like, I knew the band is great. I knew Saiki was great already, but the biggest eye-opening thing for me, if you're talking about the band, was how unbelievable Saiki's vocals were live, and how amazing she was as a front woman. Like, honestly, amazing she was as a front woman. She was so great with the crowd, so great with the crowd. So yeah, I wanted to say that before I ended. So yeah, the show ends, we can all breathe. But the sardines are starting to, you know, separate. We left and everything like that, and God, when that cold air hit me, that was a beautiful thing, I'll tell you. And I went back to the hotel, and you know, I said goodbye to Tony, and I said goodbye to Tom, obviously, before I left. And hopefully said I'll see them again, give them both a big hug, and it was lads, if you're watching, it was an honor and a pleasure to watch that with you. I would have, obviously, guys, if just me seeing it on my own, I go to a lot of gigs on my own, it would have been great, but to actually share it with those two guys, let alone the audience, was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. Pretty awesome. And yeah, that's kind of it. How long have I been talking? 90 minutes. Might edit this down a little bit. It might be a bit shorter by the time you see it, guys. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I had a lot to say about this. Obviously, I had a lot to say, and maybe down the line, if you're curious why I haven't done it like a filmed vlog and everything like that, guys. I see people vlog in public and everything like that, you know, with their cameras out, and I just look at them and I'm like, fair play, because I don't think I could do it. I don't want to bring attention to myself too much in public. I'm not like I describe myself as like an ambivert, to be honest with you. Like I'm pretty good socially and everything, but like filming yourself is a bit of a different matter. Maybe one day I'll get the courage to actually do a vlog where I film it as well, but not film any of the show. Oh, the phone etiquette. I said I was going to get back to that an hour and 20 minutes ago. Amazing phone etiquette at this show. Amazing. Like, there were people filming, obviously. You've seen it, right? And the thing is, I'll tell you some quick horror stories before I leave, guys, to show you how good the crowd was here. I've been to shows where people in the front row have been like that with their phones, right? Not talking about BAND-MAID shows now, but being like that with their phones. What happens when you do that is the person behind you can't see. So what do? They go like that. Oh, the person behind them can't see that. They go like that. People can't see it the further you go back. I really don't like to see it, to be honest with you. I don't mind people filming at gigs as long as the artist is okay with it, as long as the band is okay with it. But people, if they film there, you're not affecting anything. You're not affecting anybody behind you and anything like that. The saddest thing I've ever seen, and this is a horror story I was going to talk about, is that I went to one show. There was a guy that must have been 6'4", and he had his phone like that. He was in the front row. Not good. The worst one, without a doubt, is that there was this lady that was next to me who was Chinese. She'd come to see a show where one of the members is Chinese, so she came to support. She came from China, and she's, you know, this lady was quite short. She was watching the show live while she's there in the audience. She was watching it through the phone of someone else. So she was watching the phone through someone else because she couldn't see. It made me so angry. It made me so angry. Like, I said to her, I was like, do you want to move somewhere else and everything like that? And she was okay about it, but it made me so angry. So at BAND-MAID, I didn't see any of that. This is what I saw in the air, not that. I would prefer to see that any day. Thank you very much. And the people who filmed, I didn't even notice them when they did film. And there were people filming, obviously. Didn't even notice them. Great job. Great job. It's something that, like, it's one of those pet peeves for me when I go to gigs, to be honest with you. Big time. So well done. Again, that's another reason why this crowd was so great, you know. So, yeah. It's been a long time since BAND-MAID come to Europe, guys. As soon as I saw them, I said I wanted to see them live. Well, there you go. Big love again to Daniel for making it happen. And, you know, let me know in the comments if you were there. Let me know if you were anywhere else in the other cities on the tour during this tour as well. And let me know if you've been to see them live before, if you want to see them live again. I think people might. That might be a bit of a pointless question, that last one. And let me know your live experiences and everything like that, you know. Yeah, I'm sorry this has been a bit of a long one. But I had a lot to say, and it was a great day, and I wanted to talk about it in detail and everything as well. So big love to the people whose fan cams, you know, I've used snippets from of this. Big love to Tony and Tom, who I spent the day with, as well as Paul and Gary, who I met as well. I think it was Paul. Let me know. Gary, definitely. I think it was Paul. Let me know. Hopefully next time BAND-MAID come again, I will absolutely be there. I'm hoping it will be in a bigger venue next time. I think that will benefit everyone, and I think they could easily pack it out, to be honest with you. And I hope I can go to meet some of the other, you know, BAND-MAID fans and stuff, you know, at the fan cafe and stuff beforehand. I absolutely would have done that if I knew about it. So yeah, that is that, folks. Thank you for watching even a little bit of this video. If you watched it till the end, if you watched the whole thing, wow, thank you so much. It's pretty awesome to, you know, know this band, be a fan of this band. This band is now my favorite current rock band in the world, without a doubt. And to know that their fans are not only so nice online, but also nice and great characters in person, was awesome, to be honest with you. Really cool. So anyway, guys, hope you have a lovely rest of your day, afternoon, night, whenever you're watching this. Please take care. Much love.